What is a computer skill everyone should know, learn? How to clean their computers. Software and hardware. It's amazing how much some of the machines out there are struggling due to dust and unused software. I just dusted my PC for the first time in over a year. Now it doesn't sound like a jet when I play Skyrim. To just look around and try things. I get so many, how do I do X in program Y, questions where I have no clue offhand. So just poke around the UI until I find what they're looking for. Lots of programs have their own internal search bar so you can find that one command out of 1,000. To actually read what the computer is saying to you instead of clicking on OK or cancel right away without thinking. It's an advice that my stepfather gave me when I was young and it helped me a lot over the years. Saw my ex click yes on an "Are you sure you don't want to save?" assignment that she spent the past 3 hours doing. And no, autosave was not turned on. Basic Excel for budgeting. Piggybacking off of this, if you are a college grad transitioning into the working world, you should become fluent in Excel because it's something you'll use every day depending on the industry. Find a set of data online and play around with pivot tables, VLOOKUPs, index matches, SUMIFs, etc. And try to do so with only the use of your keyboard because if you can learn the shortcuts needed to navigate a workbook without the use of a mouse, you'll be probably 50% more efficient than your peers clicking around in a workbook. Some years ago, I was watching my mother input values into a web form. For each field, she went and moved her mouse over the new field she wanted to add info to and then click on it. After a few times of observing this behavior, I asked her if she knew that tabbing would move to the next field. She didn't, so tabbing and Shift plus Tab to go back to the last field. It's so weird. I know many of the shortcuts discussed in this thread, but if someone asked me, for example, how to go back one field, I'd be stumped. My fingers just do it automatically. Recognizing phishing attempts. Hell, recognizing any sort of incoming scam. How to use incognito browser. Not only for porn, but to log into an account on a computer that isn't yours so the information isn't saved. Adding to that, if the computer is yours and you are inviting guests who need your computer often, you can set up a guest account for them. I personally use it for preserving my desktop. How to advanced search and reverse image search on Google. Tell me more. Advanced search example, put quotes around your phrase. It gives you results of the exact phrase rather than 100. Irrelevant, related searches. Windows key plus Shift plus S to create a new snip. Very handy to share just a bit of your screen and quicker than screenshots. How to clean a laptop. If your 3-year-old laptop is reaching 94 degrees Celsius while watching Netflix, it is time to invest like 45 minutes to just clean out the dust. That gave me a much more significant performance increase than that time I downloaded extra RAM. I want to learn how to clean my laptop on the inside but I'm too scared to break something. There is too much dust in here to take it every time to the technician to clean it. What are your favorite tips on cleaning? However, try looking for a YouTube video on how to disassemble your specific laptop. You might need 1 or 2 screwdrivers and small bowls to keep the screws. Try cleaning with soft brushes and a lot of care. Never force anything. The most dust is always in the fan and everything that the air circulates through. Be especially careful with the thermal paste on the CPU. You might need to gently heat it up before. Try looking for cleaning advice for your specific laptop. And for the screws, don't tighten them too hard, especially when they are just screwed into the plastic. Control plus Shift plus V paste stuff without formatting. Before I discovered this, I pasted stuff into Notepad for 15 years. Before pasting it somewhere else. Doesn't work in Excel for me. Just tried iPaste. Then hit Ctrl again to bring up the paste menu. V again to paste as values without formatting. I do this to get rid of formulas. All the time. I'm perfectly cool with my method. And if you're going to suggest an alternative, please don't try to get me to use the mouse. I won't. It's bad. I was surprised to learn that there were people who didn't know Ctrl F, or CMDF for Mac users, was a thing. Extremely useful for finding a particular word, phrase in a large wall of text. I once had a coworker who didn't know this and was surprised on how I could complete certain Excel lists so quickly or find information in them. She always zoomed them up to 300% and then read each column one by one. How to not only clear your history, but your cache. This is a requirement before my IT department attempt to resolve an issue. I see this in mainly older generations. But I see it at people my age too. People have no clue how to make a PowerPoint, change your home search engine, zoom in, zoom out on pages, how to copy paste, how to print, and will even type Google in the Google search bar. These are basic skills everyone should have nowadays. Computer literacy is the right term. We are approaching a world where without those skills you are about as useful in the working world as somebody who is not literate. I can't read. Not a skill. Just common sense. Microsoft is not screening your computer for viruses. If someone calls you because they detected a virus in your PC, it is a fucking lie. End the call on the spot. And if you are still curious if it may be real, call them back. Search for the number on their official web page. Also, they ask you to install shit to connect to your PC. They have a way to connect through a built-in feature in the operative system. TeamViewer or any other software is not their official software. They can do it without installing crap. Source. Used to work for their tech support. I couldn't believe people paying up to 4 times the official support fee if out of warranty and then paying the MS fee. How to Google the solutions to your basic computer problems. I'm the youngest person in my office by about 10 years. And everyone comes to me for IT advice. But all the expertise I have is knowing how to Google the solution. Because I don't know shit about computers. Research is a skill many don't or can't be bothered to have. People will look for the easy way out for their problems. Backups. That you need different drives. That your backup drive shouldn't reside with your work-a-day drive. That cloud backup exists and maybe you should use it. That drives fail. All the skills required to safeguard your data. Coworker lost a massive database inventory of his father's life's work as a major artist due to physical theft of hardware and his only backup. A thumb drive. Turned out corrupted beyond recovery. Thumb drives are not archival. A friend found out the hard way. If you are a software type and comfy with source control, put everything not confidential under source control. Then you have versioned archive. Your resume from last October. With the nice description of what you did at Globotron. There it is. Control, Shift, Escape brings up Task Manager immediately, unlike Control, Alt, Delete. Also on Chrome, if you accidentally close a tab, Control plus Shift plus T will reopen it for you. Continuing to press T would reopen every tab you've closed for that session. How to turn off the startup option on 99% of their programs. Your computer takes forever to start because you have 237 programs trying to boot in the background. Also, turn off your computers daily, especially if they are covered in dust inside. Surfing the web and other things will build up junk files in your computer for various reasons. I scan mine every day. Defrag weekly. Neither ever takes longer than a minute or two. Unless I go a while without doing it. Turn off background apps. Settings. Privacy and security. Background apps. Off. Windows plus V instead of Control plus V. It shows a history to previous copied text, so you can just copy various snippets in a row without having to switch back and forth to paste. Touch typing. Typing without looking at your keyboard. It vastly improves your experience in writing and drastically reduces your time in typing tasks. Absolutely. And it's fun to amaze children by typing accurately with your eyes closed. Alt-Tab is your best friend if you want to do anything funny, or it is the quickest way to move from one application to another. Yes. One Excel spreadsheet open. One Reddit session open. When the boss comes by. Alt plus Tab makes it look like you were surfing Reddit. When everyone knows you were working on a spreadsheet. Reading and critical thought. These might not seem like computer-specific abilities. But in reality many people simply stop doing these as soon as they touch a computer. So it's more like the computer skill is being able to not turn off reading and critical thought. Most everyday computer challenges can be solved by properly reading all the information on the screen. and/or applying a tiny bit of logical reasoning to what it tells you. Honestly, everyone should learn about basic internet knowledge. By this I mean to never click on suspicious links. Always fact-check information on social media, etc. If everyone knows about the stuff I said above, we would have far less people being scammed, less people believing in hoaxes, and less computers catching viruses. This isn't really a skill, but wish my mom would set aside a day to declutter her email. The worst I've done was a few hundred unread emails. Now my school and personal emails are below 50 unread. My mom keeps hers at a reasonable 1,000 plus. The easiest way to exit Vim is to restart your computer. In extreme cases, cut the power to your entire building for 10 seconds. In even more extreme cases, the entire substation area. Once I was struggling to shut off Vim. Long story short, my nearest power station has surprisingly lax security. On iPhone, you can hold down the space bar and drag the cursor to where you want it, instead of trying to fat thumb it. Android keyboard has this too. It's called Gboard and was the standard keyboard on my phone. If it doesn't work, it might be because it's deactivated in the Gboard settings or the Google gesture settings.